Welcome to Command HQ. I am Brock. I'm here with Agent X.
Oh man, I can't believe you gotta play that gay ass music on the intro. But whatever, it is what it is.
Did you just get back from the Gigafactory?
No, man. No, the only person attending the GigaFag convention is you.
Let's talk about things that actually really matter, and that is this January 6th hearing. We have um, testimony from Mark Meadows' assistant regarding Trump's behavior in a limousine, apparently. So we definitely want to play that, as well as some very interesting information about the moon. So we want to play that as well today. But before we get into that, Agent X, what's going on in your world? You seen anything?
No, not much, man. Like I told you, Tuesday is here, and no one gives a shit about Dobbs or Roe v. Wade anymore. We're on to the next thing. They tried to hype it up today, the January 6th hearings with this grifter Cassidy Hutchinson, obviously pushed by other grifters to testify. Um, and it's out of the zeitgeist, right? We're on to the next distraction. And what I bet before the end of the weekend, I bet you they start hyping up Ukraine again for the 4th of July.
You notice there was a big story kind of after we got done with the stream last night, which was this tractor trailer in Texas with 40 or 50 or so dead bodies. These were all immigrants. It's a tragic story. It was all over the news, and then it just disappeared into thin air.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't even know if I want to get into that story, but there's some really, really egregious things happening on the border. Of course, this is all Biden's policies, related to just imploding the entire Texas border. So,
Yeah,
letting
I
these
mean, it's
criminals in.
interesting. Like, there were a lot of stories about it last night, and then today we get not a single mainstream media story about it. Why? Because it doesn't play into the narrative.
My first instinct was to question it, considering that there's so many false flags. But then when you really think about it, it sounds like maybe these coyotes were acting in a way where they were trying to extort money from these migrants who were crossing the border. And if they were unable to get a payment from these migrants, calling their families, unfortunately, they would leave them in a tractor trailer like this in this kind of situation in, intense heat. Um, tragic. And these, migrants have traveled thousands of miles to get to the United States, and we have criminals, committing very, very serious human right violations. And we
Yeah,
don't have them apprehended. I mean, where's the investigation? Is this going to kind of disappear as well?
yeah, no, and I think it's gonna disappear. And I don't know if you saw today, but we've had multiple young, healthy people drop dead. Very little reporting until it happened to. I know of at least two others before, until it happened to Travis Barker. Um, you
Travis
know,
Barker.
we yeah, go to the Post or the Daily Mail. They got an article.
Wow, that is crazy. I did not see this at all.
Yeah, there were a couple comedians that dropped dead and died too.
Really? Who?
Let me see.
I mean, I've had such a busy day that I have not had a chance to look at the news at all. So this is all fresh to me. I mean, Travis Barker, you would say, is probably not in the best of health, but he's also not in the worst of health either.
Here, I just put it in the show notes. Oh, Seabass, man. Good to see you.
Seabass.
Oh my god, Brock was really mad because you were apparently there was a video out there of you getting with his girl um uh and getting nasty with it, man. So it's good to see you. I thought Brock had like secretly banned you.
Seabass, if you want, call in. Same number. Patch you into the stream. Great to see you though. See you have like a new image here.
Yeah, he's got Willy Wonka.
If you don't want to call in, it'd be nice to, hear what you're seeing out there. I mean, what do you think of this? What do you think of this story about these migrants in Texas found in this tractor trailer?
Um, did you get those links I sent you about the other comedian or the comedian who
Oh,
suddenly
Nick
passed?
Nick
Nick Nemiroff.
Nemiroff, dead at 32, fans mourn sudden passing. I've never heard of
Dude,
Nick Nemiroff before.
oh, dude, you married his girl, man. That's terrible. Oh man. No, Brock has a super crush on a girl named Claire Hogel, and she put up a video playing golf with a guy named Seabass, and I was pretty convinced it was you stealing his girl.
Yeah, Claire Hogel played a round of golf and nicknamed some goofy guy that she was with Seabass. And Agent
Oh, his
X
name was Sebastian.
saw this, and then mapped that Seabass nickname to you, Seabass, because Claire Hogel previously made a taunt video um, for me that Agent
Dude,
X
play the
had.
video. Play the video. Play the
Oh
video,
yeah,
man.
where is that?
I
Where's
put
that
it in
video?
the encrypted chat
Oh
yesterday.
yeah.
Dude,
Terrible news about the migrants. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
yep.
Should I play that video from Claire?
Yeah, play it, man.
I gotta send it over. You gotta talk for a few minutes here.
All right, man. Well,
Let me get
Seabass,
it
it's good
sent
to see
over.
you. I was really worried about you. I thought Brock might have done something drastic. Um, but man, Claire Hogel, what a supermodel.
I'm downloading it right now. Now I just gotta send it over.
Dude, she gave you a very special message. Very special. I couldn't believe it. So Seabass, what's going on in the world, man? I'm seeing yeah, we saw the Q posted again. Yeah. Not too many people covered it, but it was right after that Dobbs decision. I don't know really what to say about it. I didn't read too much into it. I don't know. The Q stuff is kind of it's not in my bailiwick, more in Brock's. But
Hey Brock, it's
hey Brock.
Claire.
Hey Brock.
Your buddy Jake reached out to me, and he wants me to say some mean things to you. So
yeah.
here I go. He gave
Tell me as a
me a
small dick.
little bit of info, and he let me know that you are a terrible golfer.
That's true.
Super
Very true.
embarrassing and pathetic at the same time. You got a mean duck hook, and you never get it past the women's tees. But he also said that you play from the women's tees, so that either makes him a liar or it makes you like really,
That's true.
really bad because you can't even hit it
I
past the
used to
tees that
play
you're
for the
playing
women's
from.
He
tees.
can't get it
So
up,
that's
man. That's
rough.
what
I
she's
mean, I
saying. He
almost feel
can't get
bad
it
for
up.
you at this point. Yeah, from what I hear, you're going on a boys' trip to Vegas and gonna play some golf over there. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I'm crying here. I'm literally crying. I'm not even sure why, but it's probably
She's
just thinking
crying
about
because
your
you're so
game.
terrible.
I
Yeah.
wish you the best of luck over there. Maybe try teeing it a little further back. And
Yep. Get it
yeah,
up,
I don't
man.
know how to help you with that hook. You're gonna have to Google that one. Good
Dude,
luck.
she loves you.
That was Claire Hogel.
She loves you, man. Seabass, what'd you think of that?
Very weird. Very weird. I agree. Let's talk about things that are actually very serious and impacting real people, like these SADS drops, people suddenly dying or keeling over. Nick Nemiroff. Never heard of him before,
Nemiroff.
but he's made the news. Nemiroff.
Nemiroff.
Where was the other comedian?
I don't know, man. I'm looking for it. I saw it on Reddit. I gotta find it, but dude, people are dropping like flies. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, very, very. And Travis Barker rushed to the hospital in a Range Rover. Now, he just got married to Kim Kardashian not too long ago. Like I said before, it doesn't look like he's in the best of health, but it also doesn't look like he's in the worst of health. I mean, he looks pretty thin, like he works out. And for someone like Travis Barker, who's probably what, in his mid to late 40s, um, just dropping dead, it makes you wonder about the whole SADS and the underlying issues that we're all aware of.
I mean, there's so much stuff coming out right now. There's
MAGA Queen. We have a call in. MAGA Queen, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you so much for calling in. What
Yeah,
do you
why
think
are you the
about
MAGA queen?
anytime.
Why are you the MAGA queen?
I just think that what Trump's doing and did for America was so powerful, and I just really wish that he could come back. And I think the January 6th investigation is so dumb, such a waste of time.
Do you think that he's going to be installed as president on July 4th?
I hope to see that. I'm not sure if that's really going to be the reality of it because the Dems are just trying to take everything away. And since they have majority in the House and it's pretty equal in the Senate, it's going to be hard to see, but I think that we might make a comeback.
Now, what do you think about the theory that after the midterms, if the Republicans take back the House, that Donald Trump is going to be elected Speaker of the House?
I think that's a spectacular theory. I think he should be in politics. If he can't be president because of these corrupt Democrats, then he should be Speaker of the House.
You know, he doesn't have to be a member of Congress to be elected Speaker of the House, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be a member of Congress. They can just
So we
elect
could
him
just
as
throw
Speaker
him
of the
in.
House. Yeah, the Republicans can just sub him right in.
Oh, well, what are we doing then? Why aren't we putting him in?
Well, we have to. The Republicans got to take back the House.
Frick yeah. Yeah, they do.
Now, okay, I have to ask you, what do you think about these ultra MAGA judges who just overturned Roe v. Wade and who've also sided with doctors who have negligently prescribed painkillers and other addictive drugs?
I think them overturning Roe v. Wade was the most American thing we could have done. I think bodily autonomy is ridiculous. I think women should not have the right to choose because it's not about them, it's about the baby.
It's about the baby, right?
Yeah, so pro life all the way.
Pro life all the way. So are you even for a ban on contraception?
Absolutely. I think if you need contraception, like you're not in a happily stable marriage, and for that reason, you shouldn't have contraceptive.
Now, let me ask you something. Are you for abortion if it results solely from soaking?
Uh,
If the pregnancy
I
results
can't.
solely from, a quick soak, are you
Uh,
for an abortion then?
yeah, could you actually explain to me what soaking means? This is a new concept.
I know you know what soaking means, MAGA Queen.
I've never heard of soaking in my life.
Well, you just have to imagine it.
That's actually a really interesting concept. Um, it's sort of like an inadvertent pregnancy that wasn't explicitly designed to be intentional. And so, under those circumstances, the argument is if the pregnancy wasn't intentional, MAGA Queen, should both parents here decide to have the baby, or should there be the ability to abort the baby, considering that it was not an intentional pregnancy?
Did we lose MAGA Queen?
MAGA Queen has muted.
Uh-oh.
But it's an interesting concept. This question of soaking.
Dude, soaking all the way, man.
Agent X or MAGA Queen, if you come back, love to hear what you have to say about that. MAGA Queen dropped. All right. So, what do you think? Thank you so much for the call, MAGA Queen, by the way. Oh, calling in again. Dropped. All right. MAGA Queen, you're back. Well, if you can hear us.
5G.
Oh, there
I
you
got
go.
rid of my 5G network because I knew that it was causing COVID. So
Yeah, man, you're calling from that Boost Mobile.
MAGA
So
Queen.
hold on, I have a
Yeah.
question. I have a question. So are you just a MAGA queen, or are you the MAGA welfare queen?
I think that welfare is for lazy people who don't work. I would never personally use welfare.
Man, this sounds like your dream woman, Brock.
MAGA. That's all I can say. MAGA. Do you think that? Go ahead, Agent X.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, in terms of like welfare and how it aligns with abortion, do you think that it's going to contribute negatively to the economy? The idea that less babies are going to be aborted, and that more mothers are going to be maybe potentially economically disadvantaged?
I think that what we're lacking is a workforce. So it might be taking a hit now, but later we will have a workforce. Right now, we're aborting our workforce, we're aborting our middle class. We need these people to be born.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think this is some 4D chess, 4D chess by the predator class, so that men are now afraid to have sex with women because they, obviously they could get them pregnant and have a baby, be forced to raise a child. So men will look elsewhere, notably with very feminine trannies.
Um, um, yes, I think that men could maybe go toward trannies. but I think that in the eyes of God, if a man is too scared to get the girl pregnant, he should not be sleeping with her. That is ungodly. It's an ungodly act. It's not pro-life.
But you're not against tranny love in the face of
I
the
don't judge
abortion ban.
anyone. I don't judge anyone because that's just not the way of the church. I don't judge people who get abortions. I just think it's murder. So if you judge murderers, that's okay. But I don't do it.
Well, I'm glad you shared these perspectives from somebody on the ground. You know, Brock and I were up here in our kind of ivory tower, flying around in our Jetson ones, and driving our Lamborghinis. So
Oh,
it's good to
really,
have a perspective from the common man or woman.
I'm glad to hear that you all. I'm glad to hear y'all are in your ivory tower and you have Lamborghinis and not a Ford truck.
It's kind of ironic that
All
you
right.
would say that, actually.
So
Oh,
what
really? Why?
questions do you have?
Why?
What questions do
Oh,
you
I
have
want to
for
know
us,
why this is
Maggot Queen?
ironic.
Well, because Agent X
I wanna-
has an affinity for Ford trucks.
Really? I
Yeah.
had no idea. Is that true, Agent X?
I don't know nothing about a Ford truck.
I personally really love white Ford trucks. Do you have a favorite color of Ford truck?
No, I don't know anything about a Ford truck. I only
No,
know
okay.
about Lambos.
Are you a Tesla person? You a Tesla guy?
No, Lambos.
Yes.
I like to get 4 miles to the gallon.
Speaking of which, how do y'all feel about the gas prices?
That's actually a really good question. So the gas prices
Uh-huh.
here in the upper Midwest, as they have everywhere else in the country, have risen pretty dramatically, but it depends on, if you're commuting. For example, I don't commute to work, so they haven't impacted me as much, but I expect after July 4th that we're going to see inflation rise, but it's going to be somewhat mooted by some of these supply chain issues. So we have this kind of oversupply of items coming in, and it's going to at least temporarily kind of block some of the major inflation that these input costs related to fuel are causing. However, I think over the next 4 to 5 months after that, we're going to see gas prices rise dramatically. However, I would say, did you see the Nicolas Sarkozy and the Biden thing today? The French president and Biden. There was kind of like an open mic or a hot mic incident. Agent X, did you see that? Where they were
Yes,
talking about Saudi
I was gonna
Arabia
bring
raising.
I was gonna bring that up. So he said that was it the UAE could no the UAE they were maxed out and Saudi Arabia could maybe go another 150,000 barrels a day, but it goes back to what my theory is that we are at peak oil in the Middle East. We're going to see declining oil production in the Middle East here going forward. We were able to avert it because we were fracking here in the United States and we were drilling offshore, and we were actually oil exporters when Trump was in office. But right now, with all the Biden restrictions, you've seen the price of gas go up. It was going up way before um, the war in Ukraine, but it's just going to continue to climb because Biden wants to turn to the Middle East, and the Middle East has been tapped out, you know, with plateaued production for the past 10 years. I think you can look at any economic analysis and see that. So I think what we're going to have is we're going to have a two-track inflation, right? We're going to see an increase in food and fuel prices, right? Because food is so dependent upon the price of energy because you have to have, diesel to work the farm equipment, diesel, and fuel to transport the food. So I think you're going to see inflation go up on that. The price of food and fuel go up. Meanwhile, we have the bullwhip effect, and we're going to see everything else just plummet in terms of price. So clothes, electronics, um, basically anything you buy at Walmart or Target or Best Buy that's not food or energy, um, we're going to see plummet here within the next 6 months. Meanwhile, we're going to see food and energy prices continue to climb.
So would you suggest investing in My Patriot Supply?
I buy a My Patriot supply once a week, so I have it. I have 2 year supply right now of My Patriot supply. Coupon code Agent X. um, But no, it's not a bad idea because it fights inflation. It's food you have on hand in case shit hits the fan, in case food prices really spike, in case there are shortages of food at the grocery store. Um, it's not a bad insurance policy, and it's just it comes in 5 gallon buckets. You can just stack it in your garage. We know that Brock has 6 garages attached to his house, so he can fill one of them up with My Patriot Supply.
Yeah, but what happens, MAGA Queen, when My Patriot Supply fails and you have to somehow preserve your own food? Or is there an alternative? For example, canning food. Are these things that maybe you have considered? Because that My Patriot Supply stuff is kind of expensive.
No, it totally is. I was looking at, even with the coupon code, it is just outrageously expensive. So Agent X should get a better coupon code, I think. Um, I think the power food is pickles. I think you should only have pickles. I have an entire garage full of pickles, and that's what's gonna get me through this economic collapse.
So you're an
Ain't no
expert
one need,
pickler?
ain't no one need My Patriot Supply when you got pickles.
So you're an expert in canning.
Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't. I
Can
don't know if
you
I'd say an expert.
can you pull a plow?
Can I pull a plow?
Yeah.
Absolutely. As a MAGA queen, I can pull a plow.
Do you have child rearing hips?
Uh, it depends on who's asking.
What do you
No.
mean it depends on who's asking?
Well,
Well,
my doctor says I don't. But like I have been told by a few men. Okay.
Brock here is in the market for a Stockley lady who can help him on his farm.
A Stockley lady. That's.
Yeah, Stockley.
Are you like kind of into like that human cow fetish situation?
Oh my God, this is getting out of hand very quickly.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, answer the question, Brock. Are you?
Well, you're the one who asked it, Agent X.
Well, I'm
I think
asking
Yeah,
on
that's
MAGA.
your
true. Agent
behalf.
X, you're sus. Agent X is
Oh
sus.
man.
I think
Oh
MAGA Queen
man.
likes alpha males, so therefore she likes you, Agent X.
Well, I'm the
Yeah,
most alpha
I've
of the
heard
alpha male.
Agent X goes by actually the nickname the grandfather at local fraternities. Have you heard that?
That's so true. It's almost like you have some sort of inside information on Agent X here. Agent X, is it true that you go by some grandfatherly name at local fraternities?
Well, I've been known to pull up in my Lambo at a frat house or two.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm
I've
gonna be
seen that.
taking my I'm gonna be taking my Jetson one to the fall grad bash this year. I'm gonna be
I've heard
landing it
grad
right
bashes
on
are
the
pretty
stage.
lit.
Yeah, I'm
I've
gonna
heard
be
those are
landing it
pretty
right
lit.
on the stage. Oh
And I
man,
heard that you can meet really Stockley women at grad bash too.
dude, I don't know about that. I don't know. Well, MAGA Queen, what other questions do you have for these I guess us two raging intellectuals?
I'm actually wondering what makes you all two raging intellectuals. What are your credentials?
Brock, do you want to start?
I'm not a raging intellectual. I have no credentials. I'm not very smart. All I do is observe and predict. I would say that Agent X more so is the quote raging intellectual. So Agent X, I think that's your segue to
Well,
either
I
admit or
mean,
deny.
well, we are two raging intellectuals, right? We're on top of the mainstream media lies. We're constantly, um, you know, weeding through the data, given our analysis, which is usually right. Didn't I say that, people would forget Roe v. Wade by Tuesday? It's like it's on to the next thing, and we're gonna see massive outrage going into Friday as people fill up their gas tanks and go to the grocery store for the cookouts. But no, I mean, we're ahead of the curve in our analysis. Our analysis, every night we get on here and we talk to a few hundred people, sometimes a few thousand, and then we go out the next day and what we've talked about is on Alex Jones, it's on Tim Pool, it's on, quite frankly, I mean, we're ahead of the curve because we're shuffling and hustling.
We have seen a number of our arguments being presented, including the content that we're using, that we have found in very, very, unsearchable places. And that content magically appears on Alex Jones or other podcasts. So, yeah, I mean, not to say that, we always agree. I certainly disagree with you, Agent X, on a number of issues. So, but yeah, I mean, like MAGA Queen.
Hmm.
What do you think of this January 6th committee, the theater surrounding it? Cassie Hutchinson, I believe is her name. She was an aide to Mark Meadows, and now she gave kind of this theatrical presentation today, claiming that President Trump had grabbed the steering wheel at one point to try and direct the presidential limousine back to the Capitol, where he actually wanted to, according to these allegations at least, lead the rioters at the Capitol on January 6th into the Capitol to block the certification of the state ballots. But it all comes down to an apparent allegation that he assaulted Bobby Engel, who is the head of the presidential detail for the Secret Service. It seems outrageous. And then you have the Secret Service coming out directly after this, refuting these allegations immediately. So, MAGA Queen, my question for you is: do you think this actually occurred, or do you think this is sort of, a made-for-TV drama? Oh, MAGA Queen dropped again.
Oh man, her Boost Mobile, she didn't pay the bill.
Your Boost Mobile is failing, MAGA Queen. So I don't know if you heard that, but
I
kind of
did,
like
I did, I did. Um, I think that this is definitely a made-for-TV drama. They stole our election. When will they stop? They're never going to stop making up these lies about our former president, Donald Trump. They will not stop until they see him in jail, and it makes me sick. I saw earlier somebody said that he threw his hamburger at the wall and got ketchup on the wall after hearing about losing the election. That does not seem like our stoic president. That does not seem like Trump.
Let me ask you a question. If they do manage to lock up Donald Trump, would you be willing to give him conjugal visits?
Um, Donald Trump is a married man, and as somebody who prioritizes marriage, I would not. But I think that him and Melania should have them. Yes.
What if Melania divorces him because he's in the pokey? Uh, would you then offer up your services?
I've dabbled with older men here and there, and it's not it's not disappointing. We would have to be married. We would have to be married because I do believe in marriage, and I am waiting for marriage myself.
Oh man. Well,
Except for
that's good
some.
news for Trump. He has something to look forward to.
That's absolutely right. Thank you.
Hopefully, there's a golf course in whatever federal work camp that they try and put him in, because Trump loves to golf. So, MAGA Queen, maybe you could join him in a round of golf.
I would absolutely love to. It would be just such a privilege to talk to our former president, to get some insight on January 6th. It would be wonderful.
Well, Agent X, what do you think of that? Do you think Trump actually threw a hamburger against the wall?
Probably. I think he probably did, man. Trump is almost as alpha as I am, so of course he'd be pissed.
Have you thrown a
Um,
hamburger, Agent X?
I've probably thrown a hamburger. I
You've
don't know.
you've
I'd have to think.
you've done that.
I think I've thrown a hamburger. Yeah. I don't know.
I know.
But no, what?
Did you throw a
I've
hamburger when you lost as to be sorority president or fraternity president? Is that when you threw a hamburger?
no, I did not throw a hamburger. No. But who
You just
knows,
said you
man?
might have.
Yeah, maybe I did. Who knows, man? This is all, this is what happens. You have these weirdos who come out of the woodwork and make these fantastical allegations. Um, and it's all non sequiturs in the end. It doesn't really matter. They're just trying to attack his character, and nobody believes it. Trump is going to run
Absolutely
again, and
true.
Trump is going to be the 47th president.
Trump 2024 is always something that I feel passionately about. I do have it tattooed on the back of my neck. And I will just get each of the years changed for every time he is elected president.
It's a great decision. We need photos of that. In fact, we probably put them up as like our banner image, because that sounds amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can get those to Agent X within the next 15 minutes.
Perfect.
Oh man.
Agent X, we got the perfect setup here.
Yeah. MAGA Queen, man, bringing the thunder. So, what other questions do you have for us, MAGA Queen?
Oh, MAGA Queen dropped again. I'm assuming we'll get another call quickly here. Okay, there it is.
Her Boost Mobile, man, she needs to pay her bill.
Sorry,
So,
what?
MAGA Queen, do you what other questions do you have for Agent X?
Or for Brock?
Oh, I'm just so curious on what you guys are thinking about the whole situation with the Miranda rights being taken away as well. Do you think that's a cover for something else? Have you ever experienced not getting your Miranda rights? Because I did on January 6th, and it was awful.
Really?
You can get your Miranda rights?
What happened
Yeah,
on...
the Capitol.
Yeah, what happened on January 6th, MAGA Queen?
My lawyer says I'm not allowed to talk about it at this point, but I'll definitely get back to you.
Okay, I didn't want to dig too much into that, but that's interesting. So, Agent X, yeah, that's a good question for you.
I don't know. I didn't read
There
read
was
the
something.
Yeah, but I think
Let's
that
pull
they
that
kind
up.
of whittled it away. Yeah. But
I like that you're in private browsing. That's really smart. The NRA is always watching, and I know private browsing is very secure.
Yes. He's also on a VPN.
Oh, I have one of those to get Netflix shows from other countries. They're amazing, immaculate to have those.
Oh, using a proxy tunnel. I used to use one of those when I was in college. Of course, the grandfather, also known as Agent X, recommends that to all the pledges for the fraternities that he's overseeing.
Oh, does he?
Oh
Is that
yeah,
true, Agent X?
proxy tunnel,
Oh,
man.
Yeah, of
I didn't
course.
know that.
I have an
Um,
I have an interesting story about that. I'll tell that another time. But yeah, as far as the
so
Miranda rights are concerned,
so Miranda rights are bullshit to begin with, right? They really don't protect anybody. Um, because there's plenty of times when the cops don't read Miranda rights, and it only affects what you say um after you're arrested, right? It's not gonna get your charge thrown out or anything. So like if an officer arrests you and doesn't Mirandize you, well, if you then go and say, I did break into the house and take XYZ and yada yada yada, then you might have an argument to get your confession thrown out. But the overall charge, as long as they have any other other evidence, say like a security video or whatever, you're not going to get your charge thrown out just because you didn't get a Miranda warning. So I don't know.
Well, so
It's not
under
surprising.
our due process protection, that is a reason to appeal a case. So if you do not have your Miranda rights read at the time of arrest, you can appeal it to the next highest court, and they might have to throw it out due to the violation of due process.
Well, it's an evidentiary issue, right? So if you weren't read your Miranda rights and then you confessed, or you know weren't provided an attorney, well, you could have certain statements thrown out, and if that's all the evidence that the police have against you, you could conceivably get the conviction thrown out. But more likely than not, that doesn't work.
You seem
But
to know
no,
a
the
lot
Supreme.
about this, Agent X.
I know I've been to many Trump protests. Um,
Protesting for Trump or against Trump?
for Trump. I've been to many Trump
Oh,
rallies.
rallies. Oh,
No,
okay. I'm
yeah.
sure.
So,
I'm surprised we haven't run
so
into each other. I'm at every single one.
yeah, I bet you are. Um,
Trying to find a
but no, I
husband,
don't know.
if anybody's
The
looking.
Supreme the Supreme Court is man, it's on the warpath here lately. I like how there was what was it, the poll that said that there's only 20% of Americans have faith in the Supreme Court, and it's lower than Congress and the president. It's really bad. We're really heading down a bad path.
oh, we lost Magna Queen again. I'm sure we'll get another call here, but okay. There we go. So as far as the Miranda rights though are concerned, so this I don't even know the underlying case here, but it appears as though Terrence Tico, a nursing assistant, appealed his conviction um, on the grounds that he was not given a Miranda warning, and the Supreme Court ruled, as you said, Agent X, that a violation of his Miranda rights does not constitute a violation of the Constitution. So essentially, exactly what you said. In other words, why do
I think he was
cops
trying to
give a
bring a
Miranda warning
1983
then
claim.
under 1983? That's right.
Yeah. I mean, they typically don't. I mean, they don't care. I mean, if I don't know, I've seen it less and less given
In your past
over the
arrest, Agent X, you've
yeah,
compared
and
your
all my
arrests
past arrests.
and,
Yep, and all my
and
past
you compared
arrests.
them.
Yep, yep,
Right, right.
yep.
And it's so much for somebody to memorize, Like they can't expect every cop to memorize all of those words. It's a
I
lot,
think they have a little
It's
card in their wallet.
and like, okay, so how are you're supposed to open up your wallet and read them?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
expect cops, while they're serving and protecting our communities, to read Miranda
They're
rights
too
out of your
busy to
wallet?
read Miranda rights, right?
Right,
Like they got other
right,
shit to
exactly.
do.
They have stuff to do, like dealing with all of these protesters against them.
Well, even more immediate than that. I mean, they have to plant the evidence and they have to conceal their own misconduct, and you know,
Right, right.
They're busy with that stuff, the more important stuff.
Right,
Exactly.
killing minorities, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so MAGA Queen, switching gears here. I don't know if you heard that the Sergeant of Arms of the House apparently died. Now, this is completely new news. Have you heard about this? Have you gathered any thoughts on this? Agent X, what do you think?
I don't know. I just briefly saw this today. It's kind of suspicious, right? He was the sergeant of arms during the January 6th revolution. Um, I don't know. I mean, are they saying it's SADS, or do we have a Travis Barker situation on our hands?
He was, okay, so he was the Senate Sergeant of Arms, and he, held that position during January 6th. And now during the January 6th hearings, he suddenly dies. Whether this is SADS or something else, I mean, it's definitely very suspicious. How old was
Do
he?
you
That's
guys
kind
think
of
he was like murdered or something?
well, Agent
And the
X, what
guy's
do you think?
71. It's not that big of a.
I,
It's not that big of a surprise.
I
I
mean, what
don't
do you
know,
think,
man.
MAGA Queen?
It's suspicious.
I think the guy just died.
How old was he?
71.
71.
Oh, well, he probably just croaked. I don't
Why
know.
is Roger
Stop
happy?
trying to
It's the little things Carvana does.
stop trying to drum up conspiracy theories.
Let me all know if you guys need a third intellectual. My
We
credentials are
do,
pretty high.
we,
I have an
we
associate's
definitely
degree
do.
in. I have an associate's degree in liberal arts
Oh
from
my
the local
god.
community college.
Wow,
So
that's way higher than both Agent X and I. So you're hired immediately. We have
okay,
zero
great,
interview process. You
perfect,
just
perfect.
call in whenever you want, and you're definitely our third host.
Oh, sweet, sweet. I'm so excited to be on this project with you all.
I
Yeah,
definitely
but
agree
pay
with
your
you.
Boost Mobile
Yeah,
bill.
yeah.
Yeah, pay your Boost
I
Mobile bill.
will. Also, my liberal arts degree, since it does have the word liberal in it, I know how these people run. I know how their minds work because I have an
Mm-hmm.
associate's degree in it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Tracking down the deep state, huh?
Yeah, I've seen them acting. I've seen them plotting against the United States.
Oh my god.
Should we play this, MAGA Queen? Should we play this J6 clip here with Cassie Hutchinson talking about the actual incident in quote the Beast, which is a presidential limousine? I kind of want to get your take on this. I mean, we just talked about
Yeah,
this,
absolutely.
Well, hold on.
but
I want to ask MAGA
okay.
Queen something. So, all right. So, what is your opinion of the fact that Cassidy Hutchinson is 26 years old, right? She's been called before Congress to testify. And in terms of looks and attractiveness, she's already hit a wall at 26.
When you say hit a wall at 26, do you mean she's done being hot?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think she's hot. I'm not a lesbian, but I think she's kind of hot.
I mean, she's
Well,
not going to get any hotter, though.
Well, I hit a wall at 14, but so 26 is
oh,
pretty impressive.
well, okay. So I keep on screwing her name up. Cassidy Hutchinson was called before this particular committee simply because she's naive, she's young, she doesn't necessarily know what she's getting into, and so they can kind of like work her. And if you've watched this clip, and we will watch it and we'll stop it. Oh, we lost MAGA Queen again.
I
The
don't know if you
clip,
saw that clip that I sent you earlier where they were showing a video of her video deposition, and while she was testifying she was looking down and she was turning the page like she was reading from a script.
definitely reading from a script, but they set her up too because Liz Cheney was using a bunch of like hearsay, and stuff that would not be admissible in a regular courtroom.
Yeah, of course.
So
I
let's
think there's a picture of her, and she had like notes written down of what to say. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here you go. I'm sending this to you, Agent X. It's in the guest chat.
MAGA Queen, call back in if you can.
She said she has to go to bed.
Those are pretty detailed notes. They look handwritten though.
Yeah, I think she probably had an outline of what she needed to say. They no doubt like prepped her and went through what they were going to ask her. They got her answers down flat.
Let's play this little clip here.
Tony proceeded to tell me that when the president got in the Beast, he was under the impression from Mr. Meadows that the off-the-record movement to the Capitol was still possible and likely to happen, but that Bobby had more information. So once the president had gotten into the vehicle with Bobby, he thought that they were...
Okay, so before we get into like the gist of what she's talking about, it seems robotic, right? Like she's very practiced in what she's saying here.
Well, I mean, she is young, right? She's only 26 years old, and I think she's probably scared. So you could chalk some of it up to that. But the fact that, I mean, what you don't see, like when they pull these cameras out, is everybody's got a fucking teleprompter. Liz Cheney has a teleprompter. She has Hutchinson has a teleprompter. It's all fake and scripted and gay.
Yeah. Okay.
going up to the Capitol, and when Bobby had relayed to him, we don't have the assets to do it, it's not secure, we're going back to the West Wing. The president had very strong, a very angry response to that. Tony described him as being irate. The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now."
Okay, let's stop it there. Trump, at that point, was the president of the United States, and you have the Secret Service refusing to obey a presidential directive. To me, that's mutiny. That's insurrection. Trump should have been able to go to the Capitol if he wanted. I agree, very unsafe considering the number of people, the lack of planning by the Secret Service, but he was just literally at the steps of the Capitol giving a speech. So I guess my thinking here is like, why hasn't this Secret Service agent been disciplined for refusing an order from the president?
I don't know, man. It's all. I mean, if this was it, this was pretty much it, right? This was pretty much it. There was
Yeah,
no
and then she
smoking
gets into an
gun.
argument like, oh, he assaulted the Secret Service agent somehow, and he tried to grab the wheel. I mean, this kind of just looks like an alpha male trying to get what he wants, right?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I always called him. I always assumed that he kind of duped his supporters there and said he was going to go up
Yeah.
to the. I was my assumption because that's a very Trump thing to do, right? Is to say he's going to do
Yeah.
something and then dupe people into doing
Yeah,
it for
like
him.
persuade someone or many
But I
people up to
actually-
the edge and then just leave.
Yeah, and that's a very Trump thing to do. So I always thought that he did that. But what's interesting to me is like I'm even like more supportive of him now that I know that he actually wanted to go to the Capitol. I'm like, this man had brass
Yeah, that's
balls.
true. Well, that's true. And this tells you like it wasn't Trump who decided not to go to the Capitol. It was the deep state. It was, the Secret Service and whoever is controlling that narrative. And it was lawyers in the White House who were threatening staff that if they agreed with Trump to bring them to the Capitol, that they would probably be charged with a bunch of crimes. Because they knew how strong this Democrat, machine is. That's actually a really good point. So in
Yeah,
a
like
lot of these,
I have so much more respect for him now that I know that he was hell bent on going to that Capitol.
oh
Um,
yeah, for sure,
you
for
know,
sure.
and and we probably, if they would have let him go to the Capitol, we probably wouldn't have seen, the the protests that we saw. It probably would have been much more subdued.
That's actually really an important point that you drew out of this, which is importantly, in a lot of these January 6th prosecutions, these defendants are complaining that, Trump let them up to the edge and then just left. But it wasn't Trump who did this. Clearly, now based on this testimony and all the evidence coming out, it was the deep state. And that's exactly what your analysis is suggesting here, Agent X.
Yeah, no, it was the deep state. They didn't want him to go. You see it. It was the Secret Service agents and um, Mark Meadows, and I mean, it's just terrible. Um, we're getting some requests to talk about the Joe Biden recording, the China recording.
Oh, you
Before
mean
we
the
do that, why don't we go to the show notes and I'll show you. So this woman, she fucking got on the stand, or she was on the stand, but she went before this hearing and lied and hyped up. Scroll down. Yeah, that tweet right there. It says a source close. This is Peter Alexander, NBC reporter. It says a source close to the Secret Service tells me both Bobby Engel, the lead agent, and the presidential limousine/SUV driver are prepared to testify under oath that neither man was assaulted and that Trump never lunged for the steering wheel. So we basically have a bunch of deep state, predator class losers who put this 26-year-old girl up to going before Congress and lying. Like I actually feel bad for her. And if you see the grifters, like go to that here, let me show you. The two other women grifters. Let me here you go. I'm putting it in the guest chat. Dude, MAGA Queen wants to pull up that link. It's in the guest chat. MAGA Queen wants to join the show.
MAGA Queen is hired?
Looking for your dream job?
Seabass is hired as well.
We're joined by two former Trump White House insiders who know Cassidy Hutchinson very well.
So pause it right
Former
here.
White House
So
Director of
this
Strategic
fatty on the left, was the what was it? Pence's. She was like a deputy chief of staff to Pence, and this hooker on the right is, what's her name? Ferrara. She went to an unaccredited school. She was a deputy press secretary or deputy communications director, something like that for Trump. And she's an opportunist, right? Both of these women are opportunists. They saw an avenue so that where they could become famous and get on TV by basically betraying Trump and coming out with these scurrilous and salacious details. But in reality, they're fucking grifters.
That's all true, but does that speak to this very core narrative that Trump actually wanted to go to the Capitol and at least, either hold off the rioters from actually entering or stop whatever chaos was going on there? I mean, I'm sure if Trump got there, that's exactly what he would have done.
Oh, we wouldn't have seen anything. I mean, it would have been so much more subdued, and we probably would have had, um, a very presidential moment from Trump, right? Standing before Congress, saying, "Hey, listen, these votes are fraudulent. Let's pause. Let's let's investigate this." I mean, the woman who was on one of the women on 2000 Mules, she was arrested for voting fraud the other day.
I
You
saw
have
that. Yeah,
the
you sent me that
Pennsylvania
link.
Supreme Court come out and say all that mail-in voting was unconstitutional. You're going back. I sent you the link to the Arizona. What was it? The Arizona voting report yesterday, where they came out and said it was mostly fraudulent. I mean, if we'd have taken the time, right, we could have secured the institutions of this country, and we could have made everybody feel comfortable that their vote was counted and there was no fraud. Instead, we rushed. The courts didn't do their job. The courts denied everything without getting to the merits. And when they say Trump lost 100 and some lawsuits, not a single lawsuit was decided on the merits. They threw it out because of jurisdiction and this and that. Not a one of them reached the merits of the case. So it's all bullshit. And then when I see a fatty and a tranny right here trying to grift off Trump, um, it really upsets me because the only reason they're doing this is so they can get on TV. They're making up lies about Trump, making up lies about him to grift off of CNN. It's terrible. They have nothing to say. These people, you know what? This fatty right here would be answering phones for your local insurance agent, and this tranny right here would be flipping burgers at McDonald's with her fake college degree if they hadn't tried to rat out on Trump and make up these fucking lies.
I think you really struck gold, though, because if Trump would have wound up at the Capitol steps and stopped the rioters from going in, not only would that have completely resolved the situation at that point, even though the certification would have still happened, and maybe in the back of Trump's mind he was thinking about that. That wasn't the primary concern of the president, it appears. His primary intention was to stop the chaos. More importantly, this speaks to the fact that the deep state here, in collusion with all of these different agencies and institutions and all the people who run the government in DC, were actually trying to create this locomotive that became January 6th, even though Trump was, dead set on preventing this from actually happening. And all the evidence is coming out, and yet they're trying to spin it in the opposite direction. But the way that I'm seeing this evidence is very clear that this is a deep state operation. It's not quite a psyop because it's been so concrete and it was so direct. But there were videos that have been released in some of these cases where there was an FBI black team breaking windows to start the entire process. And
we don't ever hear anything about that.
They've had we know that there's been military individuals embedded into the staff in the Senate that know about this and at least contributed in many ways to some of these things happening, according to our sources, of course. So, and we can't reveal those on a live stream, but we know that happened.
Yeah, listen, man. We know that the FBI and these three-letter alphabet agencies, that they're the one instigating, probably 90% of this bullshit. And whenever, Ray Epps, exactly. Nothing is ever done about it. They get found out. I mean, we don't know, how many, what's it been, 3-4 years now? And we still don't know shit about the motive. About the motive or, anything about that Las Vegas shooting. And that was the biggest fucking FBI blown op there ever was.
Yeah.
And we don't know anything about it. It just gets a memory hold, just like Ray Epps gets a memory hold, just like the Men in Black busting out the windows. Clearly FBI agents at the Capitol on January 6th doesn't get covered and gets a memory hold. It's it's up to people like us to keep reminding people that these things exist.
Okay, so the Las Vegas shooting was one of the worst and most tragic events that has taken place in the last 10 years, probably the last 25 years in this country. I think it was the deadliest shooting to ever occur in this country. And you would think that the FBI would be completely on top of this. Instead, they were busy arresting conservatives for free speech. They were busy basically being the political tool of Democrats. And so you really not only see the priorities of the FBI, but you see, who they really are. I mean, they're criminals. I mean, this is a criminal agency that is a political SWAT team, for lack of a better word. And they're not solving major crime. They're actually creating major crime.
Yeah, they're never where they're supposed to be. They're never where they're supposed to be, right? They're always up to some bullshit op, conditioning some. I mean, just like the Buffalo.
Peter Strzok.
Peter Strzok.
Peter Strzok. I mean, he was busy trying to mess with the election.
Well, yeah, exactly. We know about him, right? And what about the Buffalo shooter and then the Uvalde shooter?
Yeah.
There was a connection that they were talking to the same FBI agent on Discord, and that just got memory hold. It just got memory hold.
Yeah, are they gonna do something about that? I mean, is that another Ray Epps? And the funny thing is, apparently Ray Epps had a hearing with the J6 committee, but that was sealed and it was secret. All these other hearings are completely public and transparent. Why was that secret?
Yep, exactly. Hey, let's play the Biden thing real quick, and then we can shut it down.
Are you talking about the Biden French president
China
clip?
No. Let me find it.
By the way, if you're listening, please do subscribe and like the video if you can.
Oh, here you go, man. It's on.
Okay, so we're gonna bring this up. It's in the show notes.
Hey, Ryan, why don't you call in?
Oh, okay. I haven't seen this before. Okay,
you got to play the video. Go up to the top. Yeah, right there.
Gotta wait for this crazy ad.
You got to get Brave, man. Brave browser blocks those ads.
Blocks the whole video, though.
Turn it up.
Okay.
Turn it up.
Hey, pal, it's Dad. It's 8:15 on Wednesday night. If you get a chance, give me a call. Nothing urgent. Just want to talk to you. I thought the article, at least the thing online, it's going to be printed tomorrow in the Times, was good. I think it's clear. And anyway, if you get a chance, give me a call. I love you.
Did you promise yourself this?
Okay, so Agent X, is this a third-party admission that Joe Biden was completely aware of what Hunter Biden was doing with respect to China?
It doesn't look good, right? So what do you say that you're in the clear? Oh man, I mean he was certainly aware of something, right? He's certainly aware of something to say you're in the clear.
Yeah, I mean here's the other funny thing about this is Joe Biden wanted to talk on the phone, which is like code word for let's keep this as private and secret as we possibly can. But yeah, it definitely is not good. It's definitely proof that Joe was probably in on some of these China deals with Hunter. So, I mean, is Joe Biden selling our country out to China? Yes.
Yeah, no question.
This is what the founding fathers warned us about. An executive that was not loyal to the citizens of this country, rather that they were trying to profit off of foreign deals. And this appears to be exactly what Joe Biden is doing here. So, textbook.
Well, one thing to point out is that Joe Biden stated that he never discussed his never discussed business with Hunter. He said that repeatedly on the campaign trail. He said it after, and this just proves he's a liar. Joe Biden is a liar, and he was obviously aware that Hunter Biden was into some deep shit. I mean, we saw the article come out the other day that he inadvertently paid over $100,000 for hookers and drugs for Russian hookers for Hunter. I mean, don't you think it's ironic that they make up a fake dossier saying that Trump was peed on by Russian hookers and that Vladimir Putin has a tape of it, yada yada yada, and here we have the president's son,
Doing
out
crack
with
off
Russian
hookers,
Yeah,
everything that Hunter Biden would do in
the
Russia.
president paying for it,
Yeah, it's almost like they just projected Hunter onto Trump, and Trump's probably never involved in any of that stuff. So,
Oh man, look at this, man. EU approves end to combustion engine production by 2035.
show me the link. I'll pull it up.
Hold on 1 second.
By the way, if you're listening, please do subscribe and like the video if you can.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sending it. Dude, Seabass, if you're out there, call in. I just dropped it in the chat. Dude, we got 400 watching. Dude, did you see that we had almost 800 on YouTube watching when MAGA Queen was on?
Yeah.
Dude, MAGA Queen brought the audience.
Absolutely. I mean,
dude,
MAGA Queen is a stellar host. Very eloquent too, by the way.
Yeah. Who do you think is more well spoken, Cassidy Hutchinson or MAGA Queen, or MAGA Welfare Queen?
Oh, definitely MAGA Welfare Queen. I mean, it isn't even a competition.
Oh my God.
EU approves. Oh God, these ads. Okay, EU approves end to combustion engine sales by 2035.
Gotta use Brave, homie.
I mean, no, this is just the normal state of the internet right now. Is that there's so many pop-ups. That's another thing that I want to talk about on a different live stream. But there's so many pop-ups now on the internet. The internet used to never be this polluted, anyways. So this is kind of a California policy. So I don't know, Agent X, if you know this, but California has also regulated that gas engines are probably going to be extinct around the same period, except for the fact that I think it was 2032 in California. So lawn care businesses that have tractors, so farmers. There's a lot of farms in California, by the way. They have to buy all new machinery, and the machinery isn't that reliable. So in terms of the EU approving this through the entire EU bloc, I mean, this is a big deal. And this is more of this sort of like implosion. We have no reliable technology. And again, who is profiting off of policies like this? This is Elon Musk profiting. This is Jeff Bezos profiting. This is this predator class, the billionaire class profiting. And then they're colluding with politicians in order to get some of these bills passed, through the EU process. I think they have a legislature, the EU does, and they have like representatives from each state. In this case, like countries, and assembly,
a parliament.
Yeah, parliament. That's the actual official word. So what does this mean ultimately, Agent X?
Oh man, it means that
your Lamborghini's gonna get taken away.
My Lamborghini's gonna get taken away. No, it means well, they're gonna try to transition us over to electric cars, right? It goes back to what I've been saying is we're gonna become pod people, right? They want us in little tiny cars that don't go. Actually, they don't even want us to own cars, right? They want ride shares from now on. They want Ubers. They don't want us owning transportation. That because that's a big right. The freedom of movement, the
Oh,
freedom of
liberty, yeah.
transportation. They want to restrict that.
That's a good
So
point.
removing the combustion engine is or banning the combustion engine is the first step. And what are they going to do? They're going to put us in little tiny smart cars with batteries that have very limited ranges that take forever to recharge. We don't have the infrastructure in this country for mass usage of electric cars. There's no push for it. We're not seeing any push for it. I believe it's kind of stalled out, right? Um, but right, it's more about the Great Reset and taking away our rights and our freedoms, and most importantly, our right to movement. We're going to become pod people.
100%. Yeah, exactly. And tracking everybody's movement. That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to prevent people from being able to just go and do whatever they want, you know? And we're already seeing that now, but it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. No. Hey, I just dropped an image in the show notes. Dude, I'm telling you, man, like these trannies are getting harder and harder to discern. I really think that banning abortion, I think that part of it was they're trying to make men scared, so they'll look more to the trannies rather than traditional relationships with women. But this was, I guess, this was a Rasmussen poll, and it shows you what people are most
Rasmussen
concerned
poll.
about, what voters, right? And it shows you the disconnect between what the media is hyping up and what voters are actually concerned about. So rising gas prices, inflation, the economy, violent crime. Crime is up, 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 up everywhere. Particularly in big cities like New York. School issues. So um, critical race theory. Telling our kids that they have white privilege, shit like that. Election tweeting or election cheating, 75% concerned, 53% very concerned, and illegal immigration. And then you look at what the media is reporting on, right? There's not even a single overlap. Climate change, no one gives a fuck. Abortion rights, hey, women, quit being mentally ill and killing your children, you fucking borderline psychos. The Ukrainian war, oh, that got memory hold. The Capitol riot investigation. I'd like to see the ratings on what they put up today, because that was not very compelling television. COVID-19, well, that shit went away. LGBTQ issues. Hey, trannies, tuck that dick and go fuck yourselves.
I'm looking at this, and my first thought is that this is just another way that the media and these institutions rig all this data.
Right. Like you see, like if the news was actually reporting on these issues, right, we'd have much more faith in our mainstream media institutions, right? We would actually be getting viable
Absolutely.
news, and it would be stuff that the majority of people are concerned about. Instead, we get LGBTQ, abortion, da 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 da, stuff that is intentionally divisive being reported to us and fed to us by the mainstream media in an effort to stoke division in society and to stoke the coming civil war.
The only reason that the media would do this is if they're actually profiting financially from this, but they're not profiting as much as they have in the past. And so they're sort of like going all in. They're throwing Hail Marys here. And, this is so starkly different from the actual data up top. And you're seeing that too, where they bring on these radical commentators on CNN or CNBC or MSNBC to, buy in to these fake issues. Where I'm actually surprised that number 4 here, violent crime, isn't number 1, because that's a huge issue and that's impacting everybody. But the economy and rising gas prices, you never really hear about that in legacy media. And everyone that I talk to generally mentions that as like issue number 1.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, what do we really miss out on from the mainstream media? Violent crime. They never talk about violent crime. And all you see, if you go to the New York Post, every day it's some weird ass violent crime. An article today that violent crime was up like 300%. Um, I don't know if you saw this, and people are on edge. I don't know if you saw. I sent you the article where uh, the dude shot the Subway worker because he put too much mayonnaise on the
Yeah, we
sandwich.
showed that
Uh,
yesterday.
yeah, there was another article that a man shot the delivery worker because he didn't get enough duck sauce. I mean, you see that. I mean, there's violent crime. People are getting agitated. They're getting violent, and we don't see anything reported on that by MSNBC, CNN, or even Fox News. I mean, that's the most important issue I think that there is right now is the fucking crime wave in the United States.
Well, the trust in these institutions and what we talked about yesterday, which was this, um, CIA, PSYOP based, Operation Mockingbird, where they're actually paying for propaganda. And, these polls are just another artifact of all of that propaganda. This is basically paid for by the US government in one way or another. And all these people are just stooges for that propaganda. And that's exactly why no one trusts these institutions anymore. And then you have like Nancy Pelosi coming out and just saying that the Supreme Court was illegitimate and that these people were, quote, extremists. And she was talking about Supreme Court justices, literally the most learned people in society. And most of them, well, I mean, some of them, I should say, are fairly reasonable people. But they've got completely sick of it. So yeah, again, I think this goes back to the fact that all of this stuff is kind of like this government paid propaganda. And the CIA has, these operations, like Mockingbird is one of them that they used in the past to pay for stuff like this. And you were talking about this with respect to Top Gun Maverick, to get people more interested again in the military. And when does this movie come out? Right when we're having a conflict with China, right when we're having a conflict with Russia, right when, the military industrial complex, after Trump is done, of course, controlling that whole thing, wants to, get ready again and go big.
Yeah, I mean it's you're exactly right, man. I think we have fundamental problems in this country, and we're I think they're really gonna stoke it. It's gonna be interesting as we go into the midterms, right? Are they gonna stoke the riots then, or are we gonna start to see them? What are the if Trump actually runs, what are the Trump rallies gonna look like? I bet you those suckers
Good
turn into
point.
straight up riots. Because right now he's doing them and nobody really cares. But if he's actually running for president and they're getting, you know, a million views on YouTube on a live stream, I mean, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. I think we're in for a very turbulent time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was actually watching a stream earlier about staff shortages, specifically pilot shortages, and it's almost dangerous at this point. And you've seen a bunch of flight cancellations. We have some comments here that recruitment is way down in the military. But just generally speaking, I mean, would you trust these airlines with all of these staff shortages, particularly the pilot shortages?
No, man,
Um,
that's another thing. Yeah, I mean, anybody would get on a plane with all the staff shortages and all the chaos going on at the airports. I mean, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
That's why I take my Jetson One everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. The Jetson One is just an amazing little vehicle you have there. So,
Dude, so why don't we get ready to close it out? But I just got a question for you. So with just 2 days left in Pride Month, how are you gonna celebrate?
I was gonna go to the Giga Factory and find you, and no, that's a bad joke. I would say that wait, are you at Pride right now,
Dude, I am not
Agent
at
X?
Pride. No, I'm not at Pride. What are you
I heard
talking
like a
about?
lot of background noise. Seems like, a lot of like carnival music. So,
Dude, what the hell are you talking about? Seriously, how are you gonna celebrate Pride?
how are you gonna celebrate Pride?
I'm not gonna celebrate it at all, man.
I thought you had one of those flags,
What kind of flag?
the Pride flag.
Oh my
Isn't that what you
god.
fly on your Jetson One?
I fly the American flag on my Jetson One.
All right. Well, if you're listening, please do subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll definitely be back later this week as well. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you can. We really appreciate it. Agent X, anything else before we shut this thing down?
No, man. I hope Mecha Queen calls back in real soon. That was interesting. Seabass,
You're
we had a
hired,
little
MAGA Queen.
reappearance. We had a reappearance of Seabass. Hope he's still out
Seabass,
there, man.
you're hired as well. Come on in whenever you want.
Yeah, man. But no, I ain't got nothing else.
All right. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.